Join a Day in the Life crew as they discuss everything sports, current events, trending topics, and more in Unplugged.
A Day in the Life Unplugged is a podcast series that provides coaches and athletes the platform to connect directly with their fans, get exclusive athlete to coach content covering their mindset, life away from sports, motivations, and workouts. Join us for weekly segments, discussions, and more. This week we have special guest head coach William Benjamin. They were 2013 and 2020 state champions. He's 245 and 85 record at Las Cruces, and he played at New Mexico State from 1989 to 1992. He is the current head coach of Las Cruces, and we're talking basketball. I've been talking a bunch of different sports, so a sport that's closest to Johnny and I's heart. And then he's joined by his junior post, Isaiah Carr. So same last name as me, spelled a little differently. So great last name over there, all right? So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll go ahead and start this as we ask with everybody, how is quarantine life been for you guys?
Go ahead, Isaiah.
Quarantine life has just been slow, but it's been going by with work and just dedication to the game. Like Coach Benjamin said earlier, we have access in Las Cruces to the gym in a barn, and I've been going there to work out for I think about 2.5 months now. And quarantine it's just hard on everyone. It's just how it is. Family. I mean, the best part about it is you get to see your family more. School's kind of off the line because of summer, but everything has just been great, just from a family base point center from my side, which is we've just been together for the most part. You know, siblings fight, and yeah, everyone's got their things.
Quarantine's been good from the standpoint of I get to spend more time with my kids. We get to do more things as far as us just being together. As far as just the basketball aspect of it, you know, you don't get to work with your kids, you know, and so you don't get to implement some of the things that you would like to see your kids doing. So that's kind of difficult from a coaching perspective. But you can't beat the time with your family. You know, the month of June is pretty much comprised of us playing basketball pretty much 5 days a week, and then you go on team camps on the weekend sometimes. So that whole month of June is normally consumed with basketball. With this quarantine, been able to spend more time with my kids, and we've just been able to be around each other more, enjoy each other more.
What are you guys allowed to do with your players? How are you guys staying in touch, and how are you guys working through these interesting times with that kind of stuff?
Very difficult. It's very difficult. I know I've had my assistant coach doing the conditioning online. We've been doing that, but you know, we're talking about, you know, I got varsity, JV, and incoming freshmen. So it's very difficult. They're telling us that we can't get back in the gym until the 13th of July would be the soonest we can get back in, but our governor is starting to shut stuff down again, so I don't even know if that's going to happen. And then also I have kids that play AAU, and they're telling me that I have to quarantine them for 14 days when they come back into the state. So that doesn't even allow me to work with those kids that are playing AAU. So basically, I'm not going to see my main kids unless they don't participate in AAU, and I don't think it's my place to tell kids what they need to be doing basketball-wise. I can suggest, but I'm not gonna. I know some coaches give ultimatums and tell their kids not to play with this AAU organization or whatever or like that. I don't do that. So right now, I'm gonna basically you can't do anything. Basically, you can't do anything. I've been fortunate enough. Carr is working out with a trainer. I have another kid that's working out with a trainer. I have my son, and I'm working out with him. You know, that's pretty much all I can do. But it affects me. You know, I just don't. You know, every coach has different philosophies. Trainers have different philosophies. And so what I do isn't what everybody else does. And so it might not be kids developing bad habits, but it's not kids developing the things that I like to work on. So that's you know, that's difficult for me. But it is what it is, and hopefully we'll be able to get back in the gym later on this month and maybe get some things done.
Isaiah, what are you missing most about the game right now? Not getting to be in full swing right now, not getting to have that summer season, not getting to be working with your coaches in person.
I think the biggest part that I'm missing is the competition with players. Being able to compete in practice and being able to work hard in practice was one of the things I look forward to every single day. Being able to just work, just do things right. I think that's just another thing I'm missing about it is just the team chemistry and how we need to get back together, and how we need to go out to go eat and we just go hang out together. It's just team chemistry is just a big part of what makes the team a team, and the flow of practice and the flow of games goes through how everyone works together as a team. And I think just the biggest part about it is just that separation aspect. Just being not being able to be there to talk to my guys. Just, yeah, sure we can text. Yeah, sure we can like FaceTime each other. Yeah, we can like send things on Snapchat and be like laughing at each other, that kind of thing. But having that physical talk to person-to-person conversation is just is rare.
I have a question for everybody. It seems like almost everybody I deal with is in a situation where they have a job that is stable, they're getting paid, they're under contract. Do y'all have any contact with either family or friends or peripheral people that are like, hey, my job's gone, and I'm about to have some serious problems? I really haven't heard anybody in my circle very much, and I haven't heard Dustin talk about it. And I was just wondering if either one of you had any contact with someone in that situation.
I know I do. I have several people in my family that's absolutely lost their jobs. I have several friends that have, collected unemployment. I know several businesses in this town, because of basketball and because of receiving different kind of types of sponsorships from different businesses that absolutely went under when this all first hit. So no, that aspect of it is really, really affecting our community. We're a small community, college town, and it pretty much thrives on big business or small businesses. And so when you shut down those businesses are the ones that support high school sports, and so when you shut those businesses down, it totally affects us at the high school level as far as being able to receive sponsorship, to be able to do different activities throughout the summer and also throughout the year. So that aspect of it has just been very, very devastating, I think, to our community and just around the nation in general.
Coach, unlike in Texas, you guys were able to finish your basketball season with the state championship. Can you tell us a little bit about that run?
Man, Isaiah, tell them about the run, baby. You was there.
I think the biggest thing that happened was the seniors stepping up. People taking leadership roles and having getting their positions, and execution was a big part of it. One of the co-captains, Sal Navarez, was a very big help off the court, off the side, just mentally preparing everyone and making sure everyone was staying in check. And it was a big help to have him as a senior be a big role model in the tournament, because things with the coronavirus were happening at that time. And we all met together. We're like, oh, what's going to happen? We're all questioning if there are games are still going to happen. But the state championship was incredible. Just without the fans was just breathtaking, because you expect to see everyone screaming and like, hey, oh, it's Las Cruces High School going against Santa Fe Capital, and it's just it was just different. I think it's just a very unique state tournament. It's my first state tournament, so it's one of the unique ones for me.
Do you think it helped y'all any not having fans?
Hell yeah.
What it came down to is everyone talking on the court and our bench. Our bench was behind us. Our bench was screaming on the court. Our bench was saying stuff on the court. Everyone on defense was just talking, and that was just a huge intimidation factor, because every time Gonzo got a dunk or I got a dunk, the bench was roaring on the court, almost stepping onto the court. The energy was there, and just without fans, you could just feel the energy just in the gym. I think that was a good part.
Coach, I want to give you some props, and I don't know if it's just your players, it's a big thing for you, but I think talking on defense is absolutely the way he described it, one of the biggest things on defense. It just binds everybody together, and you know what's going on. You know if there's a switch, there's no miss. You know, you don't give up easy points, I think. I don't know how much it cuts down, but a team that talks a lot, I know it cuts down on some of those easy bull crap, miscommunication buckets.
Oh, it's big time. We try and emphasize that in practice, the importance of communicating. Just to piggyback on what Carr was saying, the state tournament, our bench brought a lot of energy, but then also an aspect of it that the kids don't realize is not having any fans in the state. In that gym, we're coming from the southern part of New Mexico. And so our fan base doesn't get to come down really until the state championship game because we have folks that got to work. We played the first round, we played a Clovis team, and it was packed in there for two southern teams to be playing. And our kids were nervous, I think because of the crowd. And then we come back and we play the next game against an Albuquerque school, Volcano Vista, with no one in the gym. Carr is right. Our bench had a lot of energy, and our seniors really stepped up. But I also think that a lot of times, like I know, Coach, momentum swings in games happen because of crowd participation. And so that momentum, there was different stretches in the game where you could tell there was going to be some momentum getting ready to switch. It didn't happen because there was no fans in the stadium. And then also our championship game was against a team from Santa Fe. Santa Fe would have brought an easy 8,000 to that state tournament. That whole town would have shut down and they would have been there. And so that aspect of it really benefited us and our kids. They don't realize that part of it, but I do. The fact that those close towns that we played against, the Albuquerque school and the Santa Fe school, could not have their fan base, that was just to our advantage big time. Because we're in there with nobody anyway. Because we're coming all the way from Las Cruces, southern part of New Mexico. So, that really, really, I think, benefited us the most. The fact that they weren't able to bring their fan base, they weren't able to have those momentum swings, and it allowed us also to execute a little bit better. Because a team like Capital plays on emotion, and they weren't able to get that emotion going because they didn't have that fan base pumping them up. So it was a huge advantage for us. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Well, and I would say probably that talking on defense was even enhanced more because you could hear each other so clearly. You know what I mean? You don't have the noise, Yeah,
I used a couple of choice words at times, and you could tell nobody was in the gym because when people was there, they heard everything I said. Damn it! So yeah, I had to catch myself a couple of times. But it was like I said, us coming from the South it was major for us because those other two teams didn't have their fan base present. So that momentum swing, the shifts when the coach might call a timeout, I think changed the complexion of the game. We had a kid, a dunk in high school basketball changes the total momentum of a game, changes the total momentum. And with no one in the stands, it just changed everything for them. We were pumped up on our side. Their side was just dead. After Carr got a dunk or Gonzalo got a dunk or somebody made a three or someone got a steal. So it really, really benefited us, that fan base aspect of it.
Coach, I have a couple questions for you that we try and ask anybody that I always think is interesting when you have a championship team that go back to preseason. Did you kind of have a feeling that you had a championship level team early on, or is it something where you guys had to climb a couple hurdles and then kind of prove to yourselves that you guys were there? Like what were the general feelings in that? And then secondary to that question, or what are some of the biggest obstacles that you guys had to go through this season to be able to get to where you guys eventually got to?
I thought once we got together, I thought we had a good starting five. I thought it was just a matchup nightmare, especially when you have a 6'9" kid. And then I had a very athletic 3 and a 4 guy, and then I had a solid point guard along with a solid forward. I thought the basic things of getting kids to play together, getting kids to understand their roles, And then I think the biggest obstacle we had this year was getting parents to understand their kids' roles. And I'm sure you guys understand that at the high school level as far as dealing with parents. I don't know about the college level, but high school level wise. I think for me as a coach, keeping everything together and not letting outside people distract what the main goal is was probably the hardest obstacle I had starting the first game of the season. You know, as a coach, it's so easy to say the wrong thing to where you could just blow up the whole opportunity. I think that was the biggest obstacle I had, was to come up with the right words to keep everything together in order for us to still be successful as a team, to where the kids can still do the things that's going to benefit us and help us finish this thing out. You know, we went up to Albuquerque early and lost a game, and it was a good loss. It was a good loss. You know, I tend to coach differently come district time than I do in the beginning of the season, because I want to kind of get a feel for what my kids can do on their own. And then we lost a game, a district tournament championship game, to the same team that knocked us out of the state tournament the year before. So now you have people talking about, here we go, like here we go again or whatever like that. And those are outside people that don't know shit about the game. They just talk out the side of their neck and think, you know, basketball is an amazing game. People think that just because they watched it or played it in middle school or high school, they actually know what they're talking about. I find that absolutely amazing. So I think that was the hardest obstacle for me as a coach. Talent-wise, when you have a 6'9" kid like Carr in this state, it's just gonna pose problems, a nightmare problem for anybody that we play. It doesn't matter what kind of size they have. But then I also have another 6'4", 6'5" kid that's just very strong on the blocks. And then I had an athletic 3, another athletic 2, and then I have my son running the point, who can flat out shoot the ball, handle the ball, pass the ball, and do all that other stuff too. So matchup-wise, we were a nightmare if we just played together and understand that shots are going to be missed, mistakes are going to be made, but the one constant is our defense. In state tournament, our defense just really, really stepped up, and everyone. And I think that was due to no one being in the gym. I really do. No one can look around and see the niños or niñas or uncles or mamas saying anything in the stands or having that look on their face. It was just total focus on the sidelines, total focus on what the task was. So yeah, that was the biggest obstacle I had to deal with all year. And we dealt with it as a staff. We dealt with it as a team. And man, we get rings tomorrow, baby. We get our rings tomorrow.
Coach, your coach's title should be coach / psychologist.
Man, keep going. / social worker / trainer / doctor, man, / sociologist / historian, preacher, reverend, bishop.
It does all of this.
Gotta be a little bit of everything, man, to keep this thing going. But you know, the bottom line is you're doing it all, and it's all coming from trying to help kids become not only better basketball players, but better people. You know, you're trying to help kids process why a lot of times they can't do what it is that they want to do, and they don't understand. But in the end, state championship or not, it's still all worth it. I mean, it's all worth it. The interaction I have and the relationship I have with my kids, former players and past, man, I can't replace any of that. I wouldn't trade any of those relationships for anything.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Coach Benjamin and Isaiah, for joining us. We wish you guys the best of luck this season. Yeah.
This has just been a great talk. I want to thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Coach Ben, for inviting me onto this. This has been a great opportunity to talk about and express my opinions about everything that's going on, coronavirus, NBA, everything in the state tournament. I just want to thank you guys so much for having me here.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that, man. Thank you for inviting us to this, man. This is real cool. I've never been on a podcast before. Thank you for allowing us to just giving us some recognition, man. You know, we're right next to El Paso. And you know, folks up north don't talk about it, so I can say that. Hopefully they'll see this podcast and know I said it. They don't talk about us, you know what I'm saying? So any recognition that we can get down south, we're representing El Paso as well, especially when you start talking state tournament and just, we've been one of the better teams in the state of New Mexico now for the past 4 years. So you guys having us on the podcast and letting us talk about everything that's going on, man, and showing us that love is really, really appreciated, man. Thank you for that.
Don't forget to like and follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels, your favorite athletes, their teams, and more. A day in the life. We got you covered. Until next time, stay safe and be well. Peace.